All right, so the next question that I'm going to ask is, are you going to let us choose our own arena and ship payouts and changing shards anytime soon?
So the answer
I like
is
you just looked at me like I was going to answer.
yeah,
Take it.
yeah. I know. So the answer is maybe in the future. That's right, Carrie. Right?
Yeah, like it's something we're mulling over, but let's explain a little bit about.
Yeah.
The
So
system.
I want to make sure I was not answering out of turn, but
Yeah.
it's to say it's a maybe, and the reason why is because the sharding system, which is actually really good, and it's really good, at least from our perspective, because what makes it good is that it fills up as people install and join into the game, and you get paired up against people inside of your time zone. And the idea behind any good PvP system is that you are supposed to be competing with people that are being active, right? That are people in the same area and the same
and the same relative age account length.
Yeah,
age.
and you don't want people that you're like, you don't want to be fighting really old accounts and you're a brand new one because that experience sucks.
Yeah.
And so, what I think the other thing about it, and I guess like again like a sort of tip of the hat here is that we also don't like collusion, and it's difficult for us to like get in there and really like we can't witch hunt on that, but anything that we can have sort of at our disposal to at least sort of create some bumps around it works to our advantage, because if a shard is entirely set up in such a way that everybody is just without actually playing the game, without actually being good, and all they're doing is just swapping it around, like you're not really playing PvP. I guess that's sort of like the way we look at it. And so while there are definitely people that are trying to get around it and other things like that, we understand that. Our intent is that it's something you should actively compete in. And we think the sharding system as it's currently set up is very good for that. Now, we do recognize that people move, that other things happen.
Yeah.
And so arena chats, co-op, like literally the system you guys made, in my opinion, it's like less competitive, it's more like cooperative, and like people sometimes ask to strip mods to move and stuff like that, which I think is kind of like not good in my opinion.
Well, so you're playing incredibly competitively. So it's when we look at game features, right? One of the things we do is we look at where a lot of the audience lives, and I know that like look, TI and some of the other kind of super duper guilds, like you're having a completely different experience. It's a very, very unique experience. So we do take that into consideration, absolutely. But like, I would say the vast majority of people in the game are benefited by playing against people who are the same relative account age as they are. Because
I would agree with that.
It's just like, if you come into a game and you're playing against people who've been playing for months or years, you know, it just can be really frustrating. And so it's a sort of a different thing. But I will say that, just sort of to kind of tip of the hat to this, is we have been sort of working with customer support in particular, and like we're trying to find a way where maybe in a very sort of exceptional case, like, you know, where we can give people a chance to move their payout time in a way that is not very frequent, right? But like if you've moved or, you know, something, maybe even with daylight savings time changes, you know, if you're in a place that observes that, like something in that space. So we're working on that. We haven't like figured out the details yet, but we're starting to, we acknowledge that like, it's so, for a lot of people, it's very important exactly when their payout time is, and giving people a chance to sort of set it is something that's very desired, and we're hoping to like at least give you a chance to do it occasionally. We can't let people do it all the time. Because
they could just like, you know, take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I hope that you sort of see like the tension we have to, like the juggling act that we kind of deal with, right? Is like we respect people have lives, but we also want to make sure that it remains competitive, but a system that's competitive in a general way that serves a lot of people.
Right.
And, you know, and Territory Wars is supposed to be sort of our answer for the more ultra competitive, like the people that are really super competitive, whereas PvP is supposed to be not necessarily a one size fits all, but it's supposed to, it is a simple but a well architected system that's meant to compel competition over many different types of players across different parts of their life. Yeah.